Hi, I'm Dr. Alfred Serenian, and right now I want to talk a little bit about my piano lessons. I've been teaching piano for about 25 years. I have taught students of all ages from 5 all the way to 85 actually. And the lessons are different for children as opposed to adults. I do use the similar method books, but they're different in the way they're presented. For children, it's presented a little differently than for adults. It's a lot more fast moving for adults than for children, of course. And then there are also method books that are geared for the older beginners, such as someone that's 10 and older. And those are a little bit more faster than the ones for the younger groups. And that's because of the age difference. Of course, the older ones could grasp on things a lot faster, so you want to make it moving faster for them. And the whole thing about piano lessons is keeping students engaged. And so therefore, my method books that I use intertwined with my own experience of 25 years, I keep them engaged in the lessons. And then during the lessons, of course, there are the required music that the student learns. But then, of course, I ask them what they want to learn. And when they tell me what they want to learn, I make a list and we make it a goal for them to learn it. There's always music that students want to learn at their level. For example, for Elise, that's something that I teach. There's, of course, the actual one that Beethoven has composed, but there's simpler versions of that for the students that want to learn it pretty much right away within a year of after they've played the piano. And that's going to classical music. Of course, there's also another thing I teach is Broadway musical tunes, Disney tunes. The Disney tunes, there's different levels of that, and pop music as well. Because it's really good to have a variety of different things in the lessons to keep the students engaged and enjoying the lessons. And that's something that I really like to do. And of course, the older students, they like to learn Elton John, so I incorporate that as well. You know, Elton John's just one that I'm mentioning, but the older students definitely like to learn the the historical or legendary rock musicians, including the Beatles. So I incorporate that along with classical music as well, because it's important to learn all of these. So that is what I do with all my lessons, is incorporate these things. And I also incorporate music theory. Music theory is extremely important when you're learning to play the piano, because it's, well, the fundamentals of music theory, learning on note reading, of course, chord progressions, how chords are constructed. And then what I do is take it to the next level and teach students on how to improvise to a melody. Well, they'll learn to play, it's called the lead sheet. And basically it's just the melody, the lyrics, the chords, and then I teach on chord progressions where the left hand is playing chords and the right hand is playing the melody. And then, of course, I'll teach them on how to play just the chords, and then they can sing along if they wanted to. So I kind of make that a little bit more personal to each student. But I definitely add that into my lessons as well, because it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable to do that, to be able to pick up a melody and then just right away play it like you sound like a professional. Now, another thing that I also like to incorporate with my note reading and a lot of other musical elements to the younger students is technology. Yes, I added technology into my lessons, and this is quite effective because it keeps them engaged. Right behind me is a small little MIDI controller that's hooked up to my iPad, and this is where I actually have games, different types of games that students could play, where they're learning how to read notes, but they're having fun along with it as well. And I've been doing this now for about a decade now, and they seem to really enjoy it a lot. It's like they can't get enough of it, and they learn how to read music really quickly. And so it starts off, I start off with very few notes that they've been learning, and then I build upon that until they learn it all on each of the treble and bass clef. And it's amazing how these app games really keeps the student engaged into the learning and having fun at the same time, and learning how to read music, and they just want more and more of it. So it's like, I go, well, if you want more than 5 minutes of it during your lesson, then show me this, and then we'll do 10 minutes of that, and then they enjoy it very much. So what I like to do in this video is show you a little bit of these games. So let's go and turn it around and look at these games. Okay, now here is a fun game where the student gets to learn to read notes while they're playing like a racing game. This here has 3 different functions. It's got a horse race, it's got a unicorn race, and it also has chasing a flying saucer with a UFO. So here on the side here, you get to see which notes that they're going to be learning. So right now I have it set to C position on the right hand only. So with that in mind, there's 10 questions, and race speed, it's at the walk, trot, canter, and gallop. So it goes faster and faster. And of course, we can use different types of clefs as well. And let's just take a look at this really quickly. So this here is the horse race, and it will show the note, and the student will put the note in with the MIDI controller here as in C position, and if they get the wrong note, it will show the wrong note. So let's take a look at this really quickly. And if they get a note wrong, let's get another wrong. They win, but it also says review mistakes. So you click on review mistakes, and it'll say this note is, so it gives you a second chance. And then you put it in, and then it tells you what the note really is. So that's how this game is played. It also has another one that mostly girls like. This one is Pegasus. So it's the same game, but you get, well, they're Pegasuses, and so it plays the same way. So it plays the exact same way as the other one. Now, here's one that actually both boys and girls, it's a very popular one called, it's basically a space encounter. And it plays the same way, just a different theme. And there's actually reindeer. I usually use the reindeer for basically around the holiday season, because of course they like to see reindeer. Okay, that's one of the games that I have my students play. Another is called a crab. Well, I don't know, it's called a crab game, but it looks like a crab. But students seem to enjoy this one too. So you get the MIDI controller set up, and there's this little crab, and as the notes fall, the crab eats it. That's when it's correctly done. So, oh, okay. So then you play it. So it's at the keyboard there as well. It tells you where middle C is, and then the notes come out. As the notes come out, and if it's played correctly, falls and the crab eats it. If it's played wrong, it goes away and burns. And this has different speeds too. So this is really good for like speed. And they have quite a bit of time until toward the end to be able to get the notes. Of course, then they have to follow along with the other ones. And students seem to really love this game too. And if we go to the end, it gives you a chance to be able to redo these. So that is the crab game, as we like to call it. And of course, it tallies up for the student. And then what I do is I tally up their points. And after they get a certain amount of points, they get a prize. Of course, you have to reward them for doing good. So I usually give a prize after a certain amount of points. And that really gives a lot of motivation, and it gives engagement to the students. So this is a lot of fun for them. And this is incorporated into all of my lessons. Well, basically in the in-person lessons. Obviously, I can't use the keyboard in a online version. In an online version, I do it in a different way where they tell me the name of the note and then I play it for them as they tell me the name of the note. And of course, I tally up the points, and at the end of the points, when they reach a certain amount of points, they get a reward. So that is part of my piano lessons. If you want to see an introductory lesson, I do have a video to that you can take a look at on the channel. And thank you very much, and hope to hear from you soon to schedule a piano lesson.